Okay, Vero Beach Recreation Commission meeting as of Tuesday, October 13th is called to order. Roll call.
Mrs. Pierce?
Here.
Mrs. Shepherd? Mrs. Dineno?
Here.
Ms. Jones?
Here.
Mr. Holden?
Here.
Mrs. Burdick? And Chairman Yem.
Here. All right, next thing is approval of minutes, August 11th.
I submit that we
I'll make a
accept
move
minutes.
to approve those.
All right, so one of you is going to second and one's.
I'll second it.
Okay, Judy seconding. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I guess unanimous. All right, citizen input. This is going to go quick. New business, shark bait. Okay, gentlemen. Scott, ready?
Yes. How's everybody today? Scott Cavanis, 740 35th Avenue Southwest with Shark Bait Beach Gear Rentals. Today I'm coming before you to expand our initial contract, which is in place with the city at this time, and it's contract number 1665-C, Beach Umbrella Chair Rental Concession. Essentially what we're looking to do is to roll out to a few other beaches, the JC Beach and Humminson Beach. Sexton Beach is probably not a good idea to go anywhere near there. And essentially what we're looking to do is to provide really high quality umbrella and chairs. Each one of these setups costs us about $300, and we're currently offering them for $20 a day. It's pretty affordable. Our normal setups on the beach, we try to have a really low impact look. So on a typical day, we might have 6 or 7 setups, and this is a picture that was taken off of South Beach. And I'm not sure if everybody here remembers the particulars of the contract, but it involved us having an ATV on the beach. And this is the ATV that we procured for Vero South Beach. And it's presently down on the beach right now. And it's also been able to back up the lifeguards when their machine has been down for repairs or whatnot. So it's actually been used in rescues.
How many of those do we have? How many of those units do you have?
Currently just one. But what we're looking to do is to have another one for JC Beach. And
so you'd like to have one on every facility?
Not on Humminson Beach, just JC Beach. Humminson Beach is right next to the Driftwood Beach Resort, and we currently operate off of that beach. So it's essentially, it was just going to be another low-impact thing for Humminson and JC Beach, probably 7 or 8 setups. One of the things that I'd like to touch on is some of the other operators and that are into this type of business, beach gear rentals. One of the reasons that I tried to get back into the city contract was fear of having one of these operators come out of Miami and just try to slam our beaches and turn it into Miami Beach. And it kind of offends me, even though I actually happen to be from Miami. If you look at, there's a particular beach here now that is run by one of those operators, and you can see kind of what I'm talking about. It's just how many umbrellas can they fit per square foot of area, and to me it's worth it if I just make the money back to handle that operation, to supervise operation going on and that type of thing, and handle it just to ensure that the beach stays, usable and friendly and nice. This is our operation. It's not a super busy day, but this is Holiday in Oceanside. This is kind of how we set up umbrellas there. And another operator, you kind of got to watch what you're doing out there. So there was another concession operator that was trying to get the city contract, and this was their equipment that was left unattended on the beach behind Reef Ocean. Yeah, this guest actually here, they moved their own equipment off the beach that they had rented for the day. Do you have any questions for me? Am I not providing it? I'm trying to keep it as brief as possible.
How many units do you have?
Right now we have 42 units available, but we don't. A lot of that equipment stays in the container, and it's only pulled out as needed. so we don't just go and deploy all that equipment on a daily basis.
So it's not all 42 of them every time you're out, it's just as need.
We put out, today I think we have 7 units on the beach, on Humminson Beach. Or not Humminson, I'm sorry, South Beach. So it's kind of just put enough equipment just for the people that want it and nothing else, which I think that was the directive that came from the Rec Advisory Committee, is to keep it minimalistic.
Where's your storage facility going to be?
This proposed storage facility for a JC Beach, we're kind of working on that right now. The particulars of that hasn't been decided, but it would be a actual shared storage where the lifeguards will be able to keep an ATV there for JC Beach, which I know has been a matter of contention. So it's anything that I can help provide for the lifeguards. We're always there for the lifeguards and the VPL.
They currently have storage over at South Beach.
Yeah, I
They
was just
wouldn't-
wondering on the south side of Bethel Creek House, or does it have to be actually over on the beach proper?
That could be a possibility as well. One
There's
of the
nothing
things
there.
right now, one of the things is Scott has his site over at South, and then if this concept gets approved and then is approved by City Council, the next thing is to make sure that we're good with both Public Works Department and Planning Department of placement of another storage unit. And I know that Scott has already, as he mentioned, his thing would be to help us with our storage as well and allow us the opportunity to be able to store some of our equipment, including
I was going to ask that. That's
ATV,
good.
beach wheelchair, kayaks, stuff like that.
So there's actually another component of this proposal, and it's something that we do as well presently, not on South Beach, but we do kayak and paddleboard operations. This is a pretty aggressive day. We only have 1 kayak and 2 paddleboards on a Holiday Inn Beach today, and we have about the same thing at the Driftwood. I think it's 2 kayaks and 1 paddleboard, so it's kind of inverse. And then at the Vero Beach Hotel and Spa, we handle their aquatic operations, so we built this kayak rack, and this was during the storm. I went down there and took some photos, so it's really high quality. It's approved through the Vero Beach Hotel and Spa, which is one of the nicer properties in Vero Beach. We're happy to be a part of that property. And one of the things that having this equipment on the beach is I've been involved in 14 either rescues or assisted rescues, and this equipment has come in really handy for that. It's pretty much all the time. You can go and grab one of these kayaks and go out in pretty much 6 to 8 foot seas. As long as you can get it out through the surf zone, you can get out there, and it's really stable and really high quality equipment. It's all uniform. Looks very pleasant.
Where that would come in handy for
Absolutely.
something you have to deal with for another individual that really needs help.
Absolutely. And currently, all our staff are either lifeguards or they're going to lifeguard training at this time. So we're not trying to supplement or do any kind of thing with the lifeguard, only there to be able to assist if needed. Within the past 3 weeks, we've had 5 assists at our beaches between Humminston and JC.
5 in just the last couple of weeks.
Well, there's been some really rough conditions out there, and people do the craziest things, even letting their kids get into that surf zone, or where, like if a rather tall wave came in, and some of those kids you just see them, they just start getting washed right back in and out. It's pretty kind of inappropriate to have your kid out there doing that.
Well, for your benefit, it's important. At least the lifeguards are there, but you'll see people going beyond your capability, and people just think it'll never happen to me.
Absolutely. When I was younger, I was actually a lifeguard in the Navy when I was down in Cuba, and I myself had gotten in trouble once.
I did too, and I thank Charlie Golnick for saving me from it. My parents told me not to go out, and I did it. I learned.
Thank God we have the lifeguards, and we're actively trying to improve the lifeguard situation throughout the beaches. I know there's some discussion about something going on at Calm Beach, and then possibly in between there on that hotelier area, the Central Beach area.
Anybody else? I've got a couple of questions. Right now, the only thing you put in position, from what I'm seeing, are just the umbrellas and chairs
Correct.
at South Beach, not anywhere else?
For as far as the city, yes, sir, and that's correct.
Okay. Because when you came before us, you talked about putting kayaks and paddle boards initially when you did this.
Well, we decided just to go very slow and to make sure we don't want to have a lot of negative publicity, or it's like we're going there to slam the beach with a bunch of gear. For example, like I said, today we have a kayak and a couple of paddle boards on one of the beaches and the inverse at another beach. So that probably is what would have happened on South Beach today if we would have that in place at this time.
So when do you propose putting them there?
It has multiple benefits, but yes, sir, that is part of the proposal. It can be an added benefit to the lifeguards, and it can also help generate
Yeah, but
revenue.
my question is, when are you going to put them there?
Oh, well, it's totally up to the whole process of getting the approval through this proposal.
What's your target? You by high season or before then?
I could do it, if it was approved, I could do it tomorrow. We have plenty
Yeah,
of...
but you already have that approval. I think that approval came with the initial agreement.
I think the kayaks and the paddleboards was actually struck out of it, and when it came to a conclusion to, and I think it happened at the city council level. Where
I believe that.
The merchandise to be offered for rental shall be limited to beach umbrellas and chairs.
Okay. So actually what you need to do, what are we doing here? An addendum or?
that was my understanding.
Right.
And
Okay.
I'm trying to see my actual verbiage.
When one of the things I mentioned with Scott too was I think that you have two different approaches here. One is the expansion of the umbrellas and the chairs to the other two beaches, and then the second one was the addendum of possibly getting the feet wet with kayaks and etc. So I'm looking at that as two different pieces.
So what was, I didn't see the council meeting on that. When did they, what was their objection really to going ahead and starting with the kayak?
As I recall, Mr. Chairman, it was to try to start slow. As Scott said, he wanted to sort of see how this went. I think the city council was the same way. There were discussions at the time about we didn't want the chairs blocking out those who brought their own chairs to the beach, and those type of activities. I believe at the South Beach has been very, very successful. And as he's gotten these contracts up with the hotels, it really is a benefit to the beach, and he has shown that he's very good at working with the surroundings. The ATV has been very good at South Beach. I think gives a little support to the lifeguards. To get it up to JC Beach may require that we have to address our comprehensive plan as to what the activities are that are allowed on the beach. But the chairs and the kayaks would fit within that scope because they are beach activities.
Well, plus the paddleboard.
And the paddleboard, yeah.
Yeah.
As long as it's not a motorized piece of equipment.
All right. I got one other question here. Your item 4, financially speaking, is where you started off because you're trying to implement packages, what you say in here, 52 off-beach resorts, and bring those people down to the beach. I assume that majority of these commercial hotels and resorts, etc., are not in the city.
Quite a few of them are outside of the city. Sebastian, the areas are Sebastian, Vero Beach. I was looking at it as a means to also help. I haven't recently attended the tourism board meetings, but that was something that I explained that potential package to them at the time, and that was met with good reception. It would definitely help with tourism in the area, I believe. I think.
Well, this is where we get into the cost of the Tourist Development Board is a county board, I think,
Correct.
right? So it's really adding additional cost to the city in maintenance of the beach and beach area by bringing beach packages.
Well, you're right about that, but I don't think we want to discourage people from going to the beach because we are Vero Beach. But bringing more people, in theory, will help us, create a commercial environment that's going to be very active, which escalates and evaluates the property values, which helps us on ad valorem tax. It also creates sales tax, which we do get a proportionate share based on population of sales tax. But you are right, the tourism tax is really collected by the county and spent by the county at their sole discretion by state law. But I think what we're talking about here is accommodations for those who are beachgoers. One of the attractiveness of this is that we may get our beachgoers to congregate where we have lifeguards. As he indicated, we're not talking about Sexton Plaza. We have no lifeguards there, so we would not encourage putting chairs there and encouraging people to be there. But at J.C. Park and at Humison Park, where we have lifeguards, maybe that will be a little more attractive to the swimmers and help us out. Because I think when he was talking about some of those issues over the last couple of weeks, that some of that is outside the realm of where our lifeguards are stationed, because we have folks that are coming from the hotels and those type of activities, and we don't guard those beaches. But if you go up and look at the beach, some of his equipment that is, for example, at the Vero Beach Hotel and Spa, in my personal opinion, is pretty attractive. And he's able to keep it out of the way of the people who are using the beach, moving up and down north and south on the beach. So it's not getting in the way of people who are actual just beach walkers per se. So so far so good. It has worked out. The good thing about our contract, we have an out clause if we get into an issue that we can't agree upon. So we have a pretty good exit out of that.
So basically we're saying we're going to have a trade-off in value.
Absolutely. And there's no question it trades off. If we can get the ATV on the beach, we have to, again, go through some codes for that deal. But for the chairs and the umbrellas, we're giving accommodations to our guests at the same time that we're trying to concentrate them where we have guarding.
Where's the police department keeping their ATV now?
I don't believe they have.
I don't think they have.
We're using the cards.
Yeah.
They are right now. They're bringing it in from their site normally. Occasionally,
I mean, down here? I mean,
they'll keep it at their own at the police. Yeah, right here.
Yeah, it's sort of like their boat. You know, they keep that at the fire station. I don't know where the ATV is kept, but it's not something that they keep on the beach.
it's not readily available on the beach.
Well, the fact of the matter is we don't have police officers on the beach, so that's another.
No.
No.
Not readily available on the beach.
To go back to your off-beach resort affiliate program, my thought about that is I'm all about, the Vero area, but we can't park the cars we've got now. If you start bringing people from Sebastian and Port St. Lucie and Fort Pierce, where are you going to park them?
Sue, again, having traffic parking issues is a positive, and it's not where we're going to park them because it's already crowded. So therefore, we're not going to attract any more people because we have chairs. What we're going to do is concentrate them in areas, hopefully, where we want them to be, which is where our lifeguards are. But this is not going to attract that many more people. We already get folks from Sebastian. We get people from the west end of the county. We get people from St. Lucie County. I mean, if you stop and think about it.
I know families from Lakeland.
Pardon?
I know families from Lakeland that come to our beaches.
Oh, I do too. I have some good friends in Bartow who have timeshares at the Driftwood. So this is not going to be attracting more people. What it's going to do is accommodate those that are already here. And so I don't see that as an issue. I think parking is an issue going forward, and it is going to be one that we're saddled with because we're becoming such an attractive destination.
Isn't there a church being built too, right over there?
Well, there is a property given to a
Right.
church, but they have not started anything, and to my knowledge, they haven't asked for zoning. But, Sue, the other side of that coin is that possibly by having limited parking, you have limited people on the beach, which gives us more control of what's there. So if you don't have the parking, then you don't have the, I mean, you go down to Miami or Fort Lauderdale and look at their beaches and how crowded they are. And so, you know, there's a, if you look at it from a total perspective, there's a positive about parking issues. Now, that's not to irritate my merchant friends that have businesses down on Ocean Drive, but it is a fact that, and by having timing and the parking time and all that other stuff, sort of keeps them moving, hopefully.
Is that Go Line thing still going?
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's doing very good in the number of vehicles being parked, both at the north side where they're doing it up by J.C. Park. As a matter of fact, I came through there on one Saturday, and there were 5 ladies standing at the bus stop there that had obviously parked their car at J.C. Beach. And then Riverside, I'm trying to think how many, 8 to 10 cars.
Right now.
I think they're getting ridership in the morning of somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 that are frequent and using the bus line. So somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 parking spaces are being freed up with the, and we think that is going to increase as the season gets here. I mean, you can go down there on a Saturday morning. If you work at any of those hotels, you can find a parking space. But when the season comes, it'll be a little more complicated for them.
Yeah, well, adding on to that, though, when the season gets here, the parking lots at the beaches fill up.
They do. The parking lots and the
So
parking
you're gonna
spaces.
have-
That was my point.
Yeah, and the key is that that's going to limit the number of people you have
Going to the beach.
going to the beach. Even though we've
Which is
opened
the
the
consumer.
even though we've opened the park and ride for people to ride from, you know, the park, virtually all over to the beach.
So we're providing parking for the employees, but we're decreasing the amount of parking available to the consumer.
No, we're not. We got the same amount of parking we started with.
No,
And they
well,
are
those parking lots fill up during the season.
And last season they were always full. That is true, but these chairs are not going to be attracting people to come to those parking lots.
No, I'm not. I wasn't complaining about the chairs. I love the idea. I liked it when I went to South Beach, and I like it now. It's the bring people from other counties program. That just kind of worries me.
I think that's part of what the Chamber of Commerce is doing, is promoting us in order to get commerce in our area.
So how are you going to bring the people, say, from Sebastian, the hotels in Sebastian? Do you pick them up, or do they drive themselves?
We don't pick them up, but Scott.
Actually, there's one of the reasons that I came up with that idea, or actually we came up with it when Eric was a partner with the business at one point, was we promote the local businesses strongly on the beach. And from working at Costa del Este and the Vero Beach Hotel and Spa, we consider ourselves beach concierge. Everybody's trained, even anybody that's working for us, we're trained to send, if families have age-specific children, where to go, the bowling alley, the arcade room, sticks.
But that's not my question. My question is, if you sell a package to somebody at Captain Hiram's, okay, which has their own program, all right, what are you really selling them as a package to come down here?
Well,
what is in the package?
We could pretty much, if you look at our website, we have all our whole website is it's just basically, it's like a menu-driven site. Pretty much any type of activity that they want to put together that we offer, if they want to go on snorkeling tours, including dinner at Riverside Cafe, for example, or just go to see the manatees at Round Island, that type of thing, or if they just want a day on the beach.
Okay, but the answer to my question is,
That's what Dick's asking.
No, we do
you
not.
pick them up?
We
you don't
would not
provide
pick-
transportation.
You don't provide
It's just
transportation. That's
information.
his concern.
You're just saying this is what's available.
This is what you'll
there.
provide to them.
And I thought it was initially, I never really looked at it from the aspect of the impact from it, but I was looking at it constantly as helping to increase tourism.
Well, you're looking at it as a commercial venture.
True.
But feedback we get on the parking during the season.
Well, we haven't had a whole season yet, have we, with the Go Line? Didn't it start late? Yeah, so, that may really take off this year.
So it sounds like J.C. Beach would be the only one really affected because South Beach, I don't think employees aren't parking down in South Beach in that parking lot. So it's just the J.C. Beach.
Yeah, but you're encouraging more than employees to use the GO line. I mean, you know, the
hotels and all are putting out information about the GO line.
right.
I mean, it's a circular bus that you can get on and off anywhere on the beach that you want to, from J.C. all the way down to Hummuston.
Right.
All right, any more questions?
No, I like it.
Okay, make a motion.
I make a motion that we forward this issue to City Council with a recommendation, with our recommendation to approve.
I'll second.
Okay. I guess anybody from the audience want to say something? Have to ask that, right? Do we have to ask that question?
Yes.
Okay, seeing as how there is no response, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Nobody? Unanimous? All right, thank you, Scott.
Thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great day.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
Anything that I can do, please feel free to contact me.
Okay. Old business, I don't think we have any recreation directors matters.
Just to let you know, the budget has been approved. The one that we had provided was approved with the line items and all the capital items that we had asked for and requested. They were approved. So we're moving forward. We're trying to get some of those jobs done right now. We should see hopefully some really nice infrastructure improvements and help out some of our staff too.
Yeah, and what about lifeguards? Are we doing anything for them?
The lifeguards, what happened with the lifeguard program is the 2 full-time positions were affirmed at the budget with the pay and everything else. We have in our plan for this year some lifeguard equipment, but not for this year, but for the following year, we have a tower for Hummuston in our budget. I know that the Vero Beach Lifeguard Association is putting together even a much more improved building.
Good.
And possibly a main office area with that in combination with. And then the second thing I have was the 57th Annual Halloween Parade is going to be on the 31st of October. And it begins at 10 a.m.
Starts at 10. Line up 9:30 at the Women's Club this year. We'll travel on 14th Avenue to the community center where the costume contest will be. And I believe Gabby has sent you all something asking if you will judge, and if you're interested, let me know.
It's number 57? I think 57.
57th, correct.
Half a block longer.
That's all I have.
Okay. Eric, you want to say anything? This is your chance.
Oh, no, just here.
Come on up and say something. You haven't spoken in a long time here.
Yeah, we missed you last month.
We got some time.
Had surgery.
Yeah.
Short of words.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, Eric Tombso, 1351 White Heron Lane, Vero Beach. A couple things with Scott. I think it's a symbiotic relationship. I mean, he's a steward of the beach. His company's a steward of the beach, just like the lifeguards, picking up trash, making things as nice as possible. So I think everyone appreciates that, and it's not obtrusive like Miami Beach threw up on the beach or something, like one of the current situation we have on one of the beaches. But yeah, so I think it's great, and we look forward to, as far as VBLA is concerned, we're still working with Tony Donadio, ML Engineers, Coastal Construction Consultants. We got a dream team together that once we get our act together and get all the things set, we're going to go to Rob and hopefully move forward with building a headquarters and lifeguard tower at Hummuston Beach, totally privately funded. So we have command and control, we have safer beaches, we have better access, we have better vision. The lifeguards are safer, so all that great stuff. So, thank you.
You'll make room to park an ATV there?
It would be great if we can have one. We got plans for that too, but we won't we won't throw too much at everyone at once. But
No, I'm talking about the building itself. When you make the building, when you build a new building,
the question was if we would have ATV there.
are you going to provide space to store an ATV in the building?
Right now, we don't have initial plans of having an ATV there. Obviously, we have a room for the paddle boards, the rescue boards, the kayaks, the stuff like that. But as of right now, the plan doesn't include an ATV or access for that ATV because we've got, access issues at Humiston. But eventually, it would be nice. That would be nice. Hopefully, I answered your question.
Yeah, you did. I look 10, 15 years ahead, though, so when I build buildings.
Yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice. It could have made a difference in a Labor Day weekend, so.
I mean, yeah, just to have one down there, even like for the weekend, if you could negotiate with the police department just to keep theirs over a busy weekend down there or something like that.
Yeah, they definitely know our recommendations, and I think it would be great. Safer for lifeguards. Safer for everybody. So
They're pretty busy.
Yeah.
On holiday weekend.
Yeah, but is the ATV busy?
The answer to the question is yes.
Okay. I'm just trying to get maximum utilization of what we have. So, all right. Thank you.
Thanks, folks.
A couple other things, too, that I didn't mention, and I apologize. The ribbon cutting down Humiston Playground. Ribbon cutting is going to be on Saturday at 10 a.m. And the other thing is we do have a registration for gymnastics this weekend as well.
So how soon do you expect to fill up once you open your... You do it the same day?
Yeah, for this session, it will, because it involves the Christmas drama, the holiday show. So it should fill up that day.
Can you do registration online?
Not yet.
That's a work in progress.
Still
we
not
have
yet.
something. Thanks to Eric, we may have something coming with that.
Okay. But you have credit card approval now and everything?
Yep. Yes.
So that should help a little bit. All right. Chairman's Matters. Recap a meeting with Marine Commission on power plant land. I attended the Marine Commission meeting in August. I think was the last one, right, Rita? Where basically I gave them an overview of what we had discovered, and in particular, I think a benefit to the Marine Commission was what they could use from the FINE program. And as we've discovered in going through the FINE program,
You might want to tell them what that is. Florida Inland Navigation
District. It's where they, I guess for this area, and it's a 12-county area, right? There's a budget of $370,000 a year, if I remember right, which is split up.
That's ballpark. I think.
Yeah, which is split up among everything.
Right.
But this actually, I mean, you've all had paperwork on it. It started with a proposal from Paul Drittenbaus. And as we started digging into it, that money can only be used for marine-related I'm trying to use a good word. I mean, it's like improvements to the power plant land would be like, I got boat lifts in my mind, but it's not that. It's the boat landings type thing. So it's very restricted. I mean, we've talked about, when we were talking about possible uses of the land, possibility of maybe putting in several restaurants along the waterfront down there, but that's restricted. I think it sounds like at max you can only get like one restaurant down there, not multiple restaurants. So
do Rob and Patty's office down there by the sea.
they can have their own TV program,
Instead of
right?
their closets they're in.
Yeah, I know.
But
I know
see,
our offices will be there.
what has come up since, there's going to be a Marine Commission meeting.
November 30th.
No.
Oh, November 2nd. Does that sound right? I think it's the 2nd.
It's the end of this month, isn't it?
I thought it was the 2nd. I think Tim had mentioned that today at the staff meeting.
Second?
Right?
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah,
Yes, November 2nd.
Okay, at that meeting will be put out, where he'll update the Marine Commission, directly on what the fine opportunities are. So, I mean, you're welcome to attend. I'll be there, and we're very limited on what we can talk about if we all show up there. Okay, and kind of what has been going on with the what we can do with the power plant land has been what has been going on with the OCU negotiations, because it was in that they wanted to control the use of that land for a certain period of time. And Tammy just told me that that's been struck.
We anticipate that clause will be removed from the contract
Okay.
about OUC. They really had no intent or no use projected. It was in the original contract as a means that if the city ever abandoned the power plant, i.e. we found transmission somewhere else, and OUC wanted to continue to operate it, they would do that. But that's off the biggest thing that we have now is in the charter provision, that it has to be used for recreational activities. You were talking about restaurants. The restaurant would have to be a secondary use to a recreational activity.
Like a marina, or a marina extension or something.
Yeah. The answer, yes, it's a good analogy there. The problem is marina business is not a real profitable business. So if you were planning on paying for much, it would be a challenge.
Yeah, but well,
I mean, you could
suggestion,
expand the marina down there and get some more tie-ins and connections.
Well, it depends on, I guess, who wants to put up the money to build a restaurant. As far as
again, it has to be secondary to the land use being recreation because it is in the charter that way.
I understand
You can't just turn the restaurant over to someone. You have to.
Yeah, because you said you don't really get into the issue here of leasing land.
It'd be like the one at J.C. Park, the restaurant there.
The answer, yes, it'd be similar to that, where it's secondary to what the uses are there.
But there's really no limit on size of the restaurant, depending upon how much somebody wants to spend.
That is correct. I mean, you could have a large restaurant, but if you're challenged in court and the restaurant is the focal point and the recreation is secondary, then you can't do that. It has to be, for example, you go to J.C. Park, the Surfside restaurant is a very small, intricate part of the recreational activity. You've got a very large playground there. You got the boardwalk. You got the beach. And so, for example, if you were trying to set a bonefish in there, I think you would have some challenges.
Well, as I say, we've got a lot of time to
plenty of
explore
time.
it, but it's
Plenty of time.
certainly
And I think
consideration.
And I think it's good that people are talking about, potential activities there. And then if we do take, and it is anticipated this year, we will be taking the power plant offline where generation will be no longer expected from that facility. The substation will remain there. We probably will go into some type of activity, for example, selling the generators off and maybe swapping out that proceeds to the demolition of the building down to the slab, and then being able to protect the substation. The substation's fairly large there, and it's critical to the backbone of our 69 lines and all, and it also has the battery backup, which happens to be inside the building, so we have to make some accommodations there as well.
Substation Park. I like it.
So, actually, the land adjoining the water down there, there's a possibility we can split that off from the building area for a quicker development.
But you really wouldn't have to split anything off. I mean, it all stays part of the city property. But if you had some land use that was going to go down by the waterside that was recreational in nature, that, any type of development could go in there that would be that part. So you don't really have to subdivide the property, I guess is what I'm saying. You make it sound like it's sort of formal, but it's not really that way. It would all be part of the city facility.
Well, the reason I'm talking about subdividing it is because marine-related I see as being right down there by the water, and then there's substantial additional land that would be available for a land-type recreation program.
Playground or whatever, yeah.
Yeah. But
I mean, you could take and see where the substation is located now. It's going to cost an awful lot of money to move that substation even to the corner of the property, which would really be the ideal scenario. But I think you're talking a considerable amount of money. But yes, any ground that's outside of what the substation would take up would be subject to any type of land use that we would consider as a city.
Well, waterfront development of that land would take up like a quarter of that land, quarter to a third on that eastern part of the land. And the remaining 2/3, including substation, et cetera, could possibly be available, for more recreation, land recreation.
Yeah, playground, what you're talking about.
Well, yes.
Oh, you're talking about a commercialized, and again, the answer to the question, I guess anything's on the table. We would have to work through the legal gymnastics of how it becomes usable for that site. The site is very, very restrictive.
No, I understand. Yes. Okay. Like I say, we got a long way to go.
Yeah,
but,
we do.
All right. So the next.
But hopefully, the first step is to vacate the operation, which we're in the process of doing.
So hopefully by, I guess, the joint meeting of Marine Commission, our commission, and Public Workshop is November 30th at 6 o'clock. Okay.
Here.
So by then, you might be closer to your agreement with OUC. Who knows?
The Florida Reliability Coordinating Council hopefully will have ruled by that time as to if we can take the unit offline. It's either that or it'll be in December.
Okay. So is that after you come to agreement with a new OUC contract, or?
The OUC contract is independent of this. They're running in parallel, but we plan to proceed with the taking the unit offline, whether the contract's signed or not. We've done the transmission study. We know what needs to be done. And so it would be very advantageous to the city to get out of the power generation business if you look at the long-term risks that are involved as well as the cost. So we're heading in it would be ideal if they both come together at the same time because they are designed to do that. But if for some reason we don't have the OUC contract, we probably would buy capacity for them for the peaks anyway, so it would make little or no difference.
So it's really depending upon what the Florida, whatever you said.
Florida Reliability Coordinating Council. Yes, we have the transmission study. FP&L did that. OUC has to approve it since they're going to be selling us the power. We don't anticipate any major issues there. And the Coordinating Council is Florida Power and Light carries a pretty big stick there, so it's our anticipation.
So the Florida Reliability determination will determine, when that land becomes.
They determine if generation is required because we don't have the backbone to get the power to us.
Okay.
That's all they do.
So if they say generation is not required, then that frees you or frees up the land?
It starts the process of decommissioning the power plant, which means for about 6 months we'll go through doing the evaluation of the assets in the plant, taking the oil out as an example,
Yeah.
and then figuring out what we're going to do with the plant, putting security on the plant, make sure nobody gets in there and that kind of stuff. So,
But the current
Yeah.
contract doesn't require having that plan available?
it does, and that's what we're asking. That once the coordinating council, because OUC will have already signed off on it, once the coordinating council signs off on it, then we are free to, again, OUC will have signed first. We will take that out of the contract and
Okay.
And then
And
after that, the public comes and they can make their suggestions like we did a couple of years ago on something.
November 30th.
we'll go through about 6 months of really taking the plant offline, i.e. making sure there's no hazardous materials and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, thank you for your detailed explanation because at times I get dense. So
Detailed. Yeah, the detailed information is basically what I've told you because until we start doing the decommissioning and going through that plant, the ideal scenario is the 1st of December, we will never turn on one of those generating units again. Those generating units were just running last week, as a matter of fact.
See, what I learned today was the introduction of the Florida Reliability Group.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't heard
Or they're
of
the ones that determine where the generation is within the peninsula and how it coordinates from one generating unit to the other. And so that reliability makes sure that we don't have brownouts in Vero Beach because either we can get it from the north, south, or we generate it ourselves.
So they do the grid coordination.
That's correct.
It gets down to.
Yep.
Anybody else have questions?
Not on that matter.
Okay, well, let's go to other matters. Do members' matters. Start first.
I wanted to ask, the dog park's been in existence now for a little while. Didn't they have a 1-year time frame in which they had to make plans to pave the road?
Improvements, yeah.
The improvements.
The parking lot.
Parking
Spaces
all the
primarily.
What's going on with that?
but
They got an
the
extension.
council's given them an extension on that.
Oh, to how long?
March?
March or April. Yeah.
March.
16?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
That it?
That's all I have.
Judy?
Yes, schools around the country have started walk to school. In my school, Vero Beach Elementary was very lucky this month. I had celebrities come and walk with us, and I wish he hadn't left. But Eric and 6 other lifeguards participated for our students. And I wanted to publicly thank him. They were there at 7:30 in the morning, and we walked with the kids.
Police chief walked with the Beachland Elementary kids as well, so.
And I want to send the sympathy from our former director, Mr. Stanley's wife passed away. Jackie, and she was a real advocate for special needs recreation.
Right. Yeah.
Where do they live?
New Jersey, I believe. That's what I
Dr.
read.
Stanley's wife.
Pardon?
Jackie Stanley.
Yeah.
Jackie said- I believe
Yeah,
they were
up
in New Jersey, weren't they?
Yeah.
I think they had kids up there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Greg, you have any ideas?
On the meeting on the 30th, will we also have the, now I can't remember the other commission
Marine Commission. We will have,
in there with us?
Yeah.
Yes.
Marine.
It won't
It's
be
they,
Marine. It won't
they've
be
said
just-
they'll be there. Now who shows up?
Let's hope they get one, because with public input, it's nice to have 2 concepts to be considered.
Well, the last public thing like this place was packed and outside when we had
Yeah, they
public
were standing
people come in.
outside.
Well, we talked about, what do we do to draw more people? I think the ad will include a proposal to put a casino in there just to see if that's a draw.
I'll be there. They have scratch offs. I'm in heaven.
How much space do we get, Tammy?
I'm not putting that in the ad.
Protesters.
Probably
Yeah.
won't have to.
It's already in the minutes. So just pull directly from the minutes. Okay. Then I guess we have to give away free balloons or something like that.
Can I say one more thing?
Sure.
I saw real teamwork from the recreation department. My family was here. We went over to JC's beach, and I want to thank Jeff going out of his way. He stood in for a lifeguard that was out.
Mm-hmm.
I think he needs to be thanked.
Yep.
It was really nice.
That was on Saturday.
I think he was there on Sunday,
A week ago
too.
Saturday. Mm-hmm. That's right.
That's
it was
real
that's
teamwork
right.
for your
Sunday.
area.
Yep. Agreed. I have one from Angie Shippers. She had mentioned that, and this is just for consideration, and this is up to you guys. She had just mentioned that she's having a tough time coming on Tuesday afternoons, and it might be difficult for some other folks too, with the SAC.
Yes, I'm on that too. We
Right.
met today, and she was going to go, and Mr. O'Keefe will call me tomorrow.
She was just trying to see if there's any way to have a different day for Recreation
We
Commission.
don't have that many on Tuesday over there, though.
Okay. Just brought it up, and I'd said I'd
I
mention
go
it.
between both schools. Zach.
That's why she wasn't here today. So I said I would just.
So you did your duty.
Yep. I'm out.
All right. Nothing else? Move for adjournment. We're adjourned.